All right, good morning. Here we go. Board of County Commissioners Appointed Directors Meeting. We have a full house today. It is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024, 11:03 a.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. We have a full slate of commissioners here. Vice Chair Commissioner Fournier, Commissioner Carolina Mejia, Gary Edwards, Emily Klaus, County Manager Leonard Hernandez, Assistant County Managers Robin Campbell and Rob Gelder, and all of our appointed directors, just about. Are we missing anyone?
Ben Miller Todd.
Ben Miller Todd.
I'm Ben Miller
Kyle.
Todd Light.
Good to see you, Mike. He sent a good representative. For public virtual attendance, are we doing live streaming of this meeting?
It wasn't noted that it wasn't going to be live streamed, so yes.
Okay, well, and usually we do not live stream this, but we are, so that's good to know. Public can follow along on the Thurston County YouTube channel. We're here for an hour. Open forum. We'll go around to different directors and kind of hear highlights of what's going on and answer questions. You're right next to me, David, so you get to go first.
I knew I sat in the wrong spot.
Public health.
All right, David Bain, Public Health. For us, Public Health, we're doing a lot of different things, both internally and externally. Internally, we are reviewing literally all of our policies and procedures. Most of ours go back at least 6-7 years without having a significant update. This is some department-wide, some specific to divisions, and so we've got enough staffing now that can actually pay attention to things like policies and procedures. So we're embarking on a project there of both getting those updated and also getting them up virtually for our teams. We're trying to monitor a couple of outbreaks throughout the state. Pertussis is probably the biggest one. We're seeing outbreaks in central Washington and in eastern Washington.
And that means?
Whooping cough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is something that is preventable. It's a vaccine preventable disease. We're also looking at avian flu as well. There's still some troubling numbers sort of nationally. We have not had any cases within Thurston County, but obviously there's an agricultural impact with avian flu. So we're working with the state to make sure we're prepared for that. That's high on our minds as well. So those are significant pieces for me. Tomorrow I'll be at the Thurston Thrives elected official council. Some of you will see me there presenting about the health of the county. And then we have a Board of Health meeting tonight, which I'll see you guys at.
Has there been avian flu in Washington State?
Yes.
Just not Thurston County?
Correct.
Other questions for David?
Any questions about the spraying that was gonna, the state maybe already did? Did you field any questions about that? Some kind of law?
Bungee moss?
Yeah.
May 10th was the spraying.
Oh, so they did it already?
I don't think we got no feedback from.
Okay, good.
I haven't heard anything.
Thank you.
Okay.
I guess not a question for David, but I guess just some props on the pop-up policy that we passed. I think some of the successes that we are actually now seeing is, we started that whole new system or environment, for pop-ups, just so, people who were interested in that business but couldn't afford to go. And so now we've seen that 2 of the people who participated in the pop-up program have now opened restaurants. One just launched at the Fish Shell Brewery, and the other one is, working to open up at the old Reef location. So I think those are just big successes that, of a program that is now really kind of, we're seeing those successes. So
Yeah,
great
no,
job
thanks
on
for bringing that up. Yeah, Jenica and I talked about how we should do much more sort of advertising about this idea of where someone started as a pop-up and where they ended up. It's almost like a graduation ceremony, so.
There's another one that sold their restaurant in Yelm, and now they're doing pop-up while they open up their new restaurant at another location, and the pop-up things, just keeping them going.
Good. I like positive feedback. That's great.
Which one is opening at the Reef?
The oyster, yes, the oil.
Oyster Boys?
Oyster Boys.
Oh,
Boys.
nice.
Yes.
I'm in.
So they're working on
Rob,
setting up
you
the
want?
location.
Go check it out.
As soon as they're open.
Good deal. CPAD.
All right.
Habitat Conservation Plan, moving along well. We have the position for the Natural Resource Program Manager approved. Thank you for that. So working with HR to get that stood up and then announced, noticed, and then filled as quickly as possible this year. Coming up, we've got some burn ban and fireworks discussions that we want to have with the Board of County Commissioners. It's been a while since we engaged on the burn ban topic, so we have a fire safety burn ban here in Thurston County that the Board of County Commissioners previously decided would go into effect weather dependent and then based on Washington Department of Natural Resources fire danger rating. There was also an ORCA clean air burn ban that goes into effect on a date specific. And so I think that there's a conversation to be had with ORCA, with the fire chiefs, with the Board of County Commissioners on potentially aligning the dates of the fire safety burn ban with the ORCA date specific ban, just to create a little more clarity in the community. But that will be coming to you relatively soon, and we're working with emergency management on that topic. And then fireworks, we've talked about that briefly in the past. To have that conversation, once that ball gets rolling, it has to take a year to go into effect as a code change in terms of the ban on the discharge of consumer fireworks. So that'll be another question for the board, is how you want to address that topic potentially going forward. And all of that will be had with the fire chiefs and emergency management engaged as well. So just kind of a preview, nothing yet, but want to make sure you knew that was coming to you. Thurston2045.org, the comprehensive plan. You see it sometimes pop on the TV out here. We're doing as much advertising as possible in the community to make sure that people are getting online and talking about what they would like to see our vision for land use for the next 20 years look like. So if you haven't yet, please get out into your different communities, the www.thurston2045.org. Since it's live streamed, I wanted to say it slow. And then Excel, I'm sure we'll get some updates from IT, there you go, on that project. That's going to be really kind of a game changer in our community, but we want to continue to measure expectations. Whenever you release new software, it always has some time to work out the bugs. So we've engaged with the building and business community. They know that it's coming. There is opportunities for potential input into how it looks and feels, but the back end is really the important part of it internally. So I know IT is working hard on that, and so appreciate all the good work that's happening there. And then finally, the fair, Thurston County Fair, don't forget, July 31st through August 4th. Have fun at the fair, buzz on down to the fair. This year is a mascot is a bee. And you know, every year we partner with the auditor's office. They have an election machine that they wheel in, and the kids in the community get to vote on a slate of mascots for the next year. So this was the mascot that was voted for last year. So that's a cool way to kind of make those connections. And then pancake breakfast is August 3rd, the morning of August 3rd, Saturday. So come on down and get carb loaded and serve pancakes to people. And then finally, big news, we've got a new fair manager that will be starting on June 1st.
Is it?
We did a great job recruiting as far and wide as we could. And it turns out we've got a homegrown success in Thomasina Cooper. So I wanted to congratulate Thomasina. So looking forward to those next steps. And obviously, thank you, Commissioner Minzer. We will work to make sure this transition is as smooth.
Wheels are about to fall off the tie train.
So thank you. Transition smooth, working on it.
No comment.
Fair enough.
Bruce?
Bruce representing Central Services. So facilities switched over the buildings for the warmer weather coming up. Chillers are on, projects are ongoing. There's a briefing tomorrow on the status of the courthouse project. Fleet was recognized by the National Association of Fleet Administrators for the 5th year in a row as being a top 100 fleet. I think there's a, talking about that on 521.
I think that's that.
And that closes out. We are still working
Very
on
understated.
great development. And that closes out Central Services. Unless there are any questions.
All done with that recognition.
How do you get it? What's a top 100 fleet constitute?
The focus is really on continuous improvement in customer service. That's the,
And what was the award?
every year, the National Association of Fleet Administrators hosts a competition for the 100 best fleets for public fleets to apply to.
Isn't there a financial component too, though, just in terms of management and?
Yes.
They're throwing you a bone. I think you're being very modest.
Yes.
When you
Yes.
consider how many fleets there are in the nation with all the municipalities and the sizes of those fleets and the complexities, for the fact that Thurston County is able to be recognized as one of the top 100 is a huge accomplishment. And so let's give them another round of applause.
Is there a press release coming?
Yep.
This is what we did the video on that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay.
So there's a video out, and we've done it on social media, and it'll be on the Friday Five
Awesome.
this week.
And
So we are doing that.
And we'll work to bring this to a future board meeting so we can bring the team up and thank them. I think it's a good kudos for your team's hard work. And some of the stuff that Fleet does is behind the scenes, behind the curtain, in the trenches. And so to get recognized for your hard work and your leadership and their hard work, something we want to make sure that the community understands. It's a big deal.
It's a national.
Yes.
Bruce loves recognition.
Right.
We'll be putting you up on our shoulders.
Pretrial services.
Pretrial services, so updates from the Resource Hub. We are hosting a brainstorming event this Friday with a lot of our partners. I see some nods around the room, so that's in room 152 in Building 1 on the courthouse campus, a underutilized room. So if you're planning to come, remember to come there. So we're looking forward to hearing from a lot of different partners on kind of next steps for the hub. We have hired our hub operations coordinator. Her name is Carolina, not Carolina. I'm working on that. She starts next Monday, and
A lot of Carolinas.
we will be then able to expand hours this summer. There is also a donation drive for the hub ongoing that I think most people should have gotten communication about. So thank you for spreading the word and supporting that event. Toiletries, snacks, etc., so that those things go quickly. So we appreciate the support. Pre-trial side, we promoted Lisa Jackson, one of our pre-trial officers, into our program manager role. She has hit the ground running and is doing all the things, which is great. So we are now recruiting for a pre-trial officer position. And then always working with our advancing pre-trial, I have to say it slowly every time, APPR, Advancing Pre-Trial Policy and Research Partners. Lots going on there related to data, and there'll be an in-person half-day retreat with that advisory group at the end of this month, thinking about sort of sustainability of that project as the formal technical assistance winds down at the end of this year. I'll take your applause now.
We all use that.
Good job, Kate.
Any questions for Carrie? Nope. Public defense?
Okay, well, good afternoon, Commissioners. Patrick O'Connor, Director of Public Defense. Carrie's being a little modest as well. We had as part of the APPR project, we had an event last week, a media briefing.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
all the justice stakeholders involved in the project met upstairs in the HR training room and organized in partnership with the sponsor, Arnold Ventures, to invite Northwest Media to come hear from the stakeholders, not just in Thurston County, but with our partners in Pierce County who are also part of the project. I thought it went very, very well. We had members from NPR, I think the Tacoma News Tribune, the Olympian, some really good coverage, and there were some online folks as well. So I thought that was a great job and a great lift for the project and for Thurston County. So I don't know when that's coming out, or looking for Megan. So it was a great job. So for us, public defense, busy. Rob provided an update on our caseload standards, probably the biggest pressing issue for public defense, to Leonard, Robin, and myself yesterday. And I'll just share that the Supreme Court met earlier this week, and what came out of that meeting is they didn't adopt the standards right on the spot. I don't think anybody expected them to. They'll be going through the formal rulemaking process with public comment. I think they have 2 public meetings scheduled as well, and anytime the Supreme Court creates a new court rule, which is what is being proposed, they send that out for public comment. So there'll be lots of comments, I'm sure, but I don't expect any decision prior to November. So that's where we're at with that. Just hired an attorney. We had 1 vacant position. Yep.
Follow-up
Just-
question.
Just a follow-up question, on that piece, so they're going to have 2 public meetings, and they're also gonna have a time for a written public comment?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I
And
guess,
I believe the 2 public meetings, one is to be scheduled before Halloween and one after Halloween. No connection to. Easy for me to remember that.
I guess, my request would be for there to be like a coordination in terms of a letter that's sent jointly, right, from the county, and all of our justice stakeholders, and kind of the impact of this, and of course, office would be impacted by this, so.
Happy to have more conversations about that as well.
Commissioner, it'd be great if Rob and Patrick could work and talk about that and come back with a.
What's nice is that we have a little bit more time to
Yeah.
kind of craft what that is versus the recommendation to en banc just to go forward with it. So the rules process will help us.
I think it's a pragmatic approach. I expected them to do this, given the impact. So happy to work with assistant county manager, and commissioners on a position piece.
Thank you.
Does the fact that they put it forward, say something about their interest in it, or?
I think so.
How this process works?
Sure, yeah, I think so. I mean, this
They
isn't.
could have just buried
Yeah.
it right there and said, we're not ready to put this forward, but they put it forward
Right.
for public comment.
And to be candid, I mean, this is not a novel issue to them. They've been informed for the past 18 or so months of the process with Council of Public Defense. So the justices have been very aware that these proposals were forthcoming, and then now with the adoption from the State Bar Association. So they've been aware of the issue for many, many months.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not sure if there will be time for like a discussion, but I think would be good. Some of the comments that we heard, and Patrick, you'll remember you were at the same one I was, at the hearing sessions with Office of Public Defense. One of them was basically kind of switching it around and starting off with the social work piece first, and then moving on to that. And so maybe having a discussion on like, if we provide like maybe an alternate suggestion or a suggestion in piece, like what does that look like? I think having that discussion
Yeah.
prior to sending something later on, and we have the gift of time, which is great.
There's a lot of issues. Yeah, I'm actually attending a meeting this afternoon with other directors from around the state to talk about standards, and so there's a lot of conversations. Happy to keep working with the county on it. Okay, any other questions? I mean, I don't have the answers at this point other than, I think for strategic planning purposes, I'm planning for the rules to be adopted, and if they're not, then they're not. But if they are, we need to be in a position to be ready to respond candidly. Okay, just a couple other updates. So we've hired our last vacancy, excited for a new attorney. This is a grant-funded position that we got from State OPD. She's joining us from Commissioner Mentzer's law school alma mater in Cal Berkeley, so she starts in a couple weeks. Still working with IT and PAO to take the next steps with Justice Premier, the suite and the Axon digital body cam environment that we've been sort of struggling with, challenged by. So hopefully we'll get that across the goal line here pretty soon. We attended last month the statewide public defender conference. We had 25 staff attend. We had a big presence at that conference, which was really good for branding and for Thurston County. We had one of our trial attorneys present to 500 public defenders. She did an outstanding job, and got a lot of follow-up comments from folks around the state about Thurston County Public Defense. So it was really good. showing by our department. Really proud of that.
What was the topic of the presentation?
There's a bunch of her how to work with clients, basically, some tips and techniques. Yeah, really interesting video if you're interested on the difference between empathy and sympathy by Brene Brown, and I hadn't seen that, and so it was really powerful. I can send that out if anyone's interested. Yeah, I think a couple last things. Pancake breakfast. I would like to make a motion for new T-shirts. My T-shirt is, I think, about 10 years old.
I second that.
So just putting it out there that a new, fresh round of pancake team T-shirts would be nice. That's it.
Some of us
Form a committee.
Form a committee.
Maybe I could take your old T-shirts since I don't have one.
Oh, okay, it's pretty crusty.
Pancake batter, fried all over it.
But I guess on another note, this might be Robin's last pancake breakfast, as I understand, and enjoyed, I think we all have, Robin's presence at the pancake breakfast and your leadership in the kitchen, so. Yeah. Nothing further.
Hi, Kyle Busad, Emergency Management, filling in for Ben Miller-Todd. He said I can speak for 56 minutes. Sorry, 5 to 6 minutes. Quickly, we are doing, not to be confused with a comprehensive plan update. Emergency Management is responsible for the comprehensive emergency management plan, which is basically our response and the activities that we do during an activation, a disaster, an event. All of the activities, basically checklist of the actions that we and all of the stakeholders in Thurston County are do during an activation, and we are updating that plan right now with our partners and stakeholders with a completed date of expected December of this year. We are having our Summer Hazard Executive Seminar June 3rd at 5:30 p.m. on the beautiful Tilly campus in emergency management. The topics are going to be a wildfire weather outlook. Puget Sound Energy will be there. Ready, Set, Go. We'll talk about Ready, Set, Go. And we'll have our incident management team there to talk about what is the IMT, what it is not, what happens when they deploy to a jurisdiction, and all the things that they can do. So it should be great topics. National EMS Week is next week, May 19th through the 25th. And it's the 50th anniversary of Medic One, which is super exciting. We're going to have, in celebration, we're hosting a blood drive on May 23rd at Emergency Management, again on the beautiful Tilly campus. During next week, they're going to have Stop the Bleed and CPR classes, and anyone can go to the Medic One website or Medic One Facebook to get more information or to sign up. Ben and his team at Medic One will go around to fire stations next week to deliver ice cream, which is super exciting. I'm going to try and tag along. And they, if anyone is interested in becoming a firefighter paramedic, they can also go to Medic One to sign up and learn about what it takes to become one. And then last week I got nervous and had a question about Ready, Set, Go hangers and how many we printed, and I said 1,000. And then I realized that was wrong. We printed 10,000 hangers, and I just wanted to correct that. Y'all made me real nervous last week. So that's all I got.
Emergency management questions? No, thank you. Public Works?
Jennifer Walker, Public Works Director. A couple of items. We are transitioning along with our department-wide electronic records management project. I'd mentioned earlier that this was a large initiative that the department is undertaking. We did hard copies, now we're doing electronic file management. There's a lot of risk and exposure to the county as it pertains to public records requests and just being able to find information as well. So we're just starting to roll out our naming conventions and standards. That'll be going out to the department. We are today working along with Fleet and Emergency Management doing testing of our emergency communication. So we're testing notification to our employees, paging system, building lockdown, distress alarms, and then emergency coordination radio testing on site. So just working on that operational readiness. We received our first Governor's Committee on Disability Issues and Employment Committee grant of $20,000, and we will be installing an ADA ramp across Carpenter in front of the Thurston County Fairgrounds. We're planning construction for that next year, along with the rest of our annual ADA work that we do. And we are gearing up next week as well for the Public Works Week. Our rodeo is on Thursday, and I will have information out on the schedule Wednesday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, or possibly Thursday. And it's construction season. Lots of road work going on. Just encourage everyone to put their patience cap on. We have unfortunately had a couple of incidences with some community members, just maybe not making the best decision. So continuing to partner with the sheriff's office to, their presence really helps calm that down. So appreciate that partnership, and staff appreciates the support. So.
Sheriff's office at what?
They'll have deputies. If we ask them, they'll bring deputies out. And just having the vehicle there when our folks are flagging, when we've got a construction site going on, it just lowers the temperature a little bit. And if it's not lowered, they handle that.
The rodeo, I apologize to your team. I love to be out there, but I have Salmon Recovery Council in Tacoma all day, so I won't make it.
That'll give people a chance.
Well, I was about to say that I was going to give, other people a chance this year, right? And bragging rights, since I will also not be able to attend, but I know it's such a great event.
Okay.
And I'm very sad that I won't get my trophy this year.
I'll be on a cruise ship too. So it's down to these two to compete.
I love to compete.
Yes. We're an arm wrestle. Emily's chance to redeem herself from the arm wrestling.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I just had a comment. The transition from the radios to the new device, is that what you were referring to for offices and departments on emergency checks? Is that a different topic that?
So emergency management, we took over the transition from the radios to the push-to-talk cell phones. That's emergency management.
Okay.
That one is just a Tilly campus radio.
Well, thank you. I mean, because that transition is, the radios were, in my opinion, challenging for emergency situations. So look forward to the training that comes out with the device. If everybody hasn't seen it, it's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Radios never worked.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Time for it.
All right, HR, Maria.
Good morning, Commissioners. Maria Ponte, HR Director. On the topic of Public Service Recognition Week, last week you proclaimed and recognized all of our employees. Thank you for the offices and departments that were able to attend and had their employees attend. Public Works, as usual, had a terrific showing. Thank you, Jennifer. And Commissioner Menser wanted to know about the dates for the baseball games, so I brought you those dates. July 19th and July 20th and August 23rd. And we've got a flyer that we'll be sending out countywide.
Mayor's night for Thurston County.
Correct.
All right.
And let's see here. Kind of pleased I didn't hear a lot of commenting on difficulties with filling positions, so I
was
think,
saving it for
thank you,
next.
Jennifer. But just a brief update on this year's new hires and separations. So from January through yesterday, we've hired 110 employees into regular positions. That does not include temps. We had 62 employees depart, and 11 of those were retirements. I know that public health has been on fire with filling positions. Good job. In terms of HR personnel, last week I promoted Brian Bishop to Risk and Safety Manager. And so he'll be working on filling his vacancy. And just busy testing our new TC Connect. I've got probably most of my employees involved in that. So if you have any specific questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
If I could, Maria, just because you mentioned TC Connect, what I've been learning from the team is that implementation is very significant for this organization. I hope I'm not stealing any of your thunder.
No, I've got thunder, but you're not stealing it.
And so it can't be overstated how much effort and work is going into that. And anytime you have a system-wide or a county-wide system implementation, even if everything's going great, there are still issues because you're crosswalking from what you used to do to what you need to do now in the system. And so just wanted to flag that for the board's awareness that especially our budget team and our department staff, they're doing, as I found out last night, a lot of double duty. In addition to the work that they're normally doing, and we have the call for budget coming up, they're also in meetings a large part of the day. And I just am flagging that for sensitivity, that may affect how fast we can get to some of the normal stuff. I think this isn't our normal operation, so we're hoping from now until I think is it July 1? And I understand that this implementation has been put off a few times for a little while. And so here we are with our bags packed and the Uber's coming to get us. We will be getting on this plane and taking off. And so that creates some vulnerabilities in an organization because you have folks that are running a little bit higher on the RPMs, a little bit more tension. And what I would encourage all of us as a team is communicate, communicate, communicate. It's an opportunity for us to show, which I believe is a strength of this team. Hey, there's an issue. We need to fix this. We need to work on this and not just get into being overwhelmed or become negative about it as we look at juggling all our other priorities. And so we'll walk that through as a team. But I appreciate folks making me aware of that. And I thought last night, it'd be good for the board to know. That's something very large. It's in the backgrounds a little bit. A lot of the staff are working on it day in and day out. But it's not something we necessarily always bring to board meetings. But it is something that is causing a siphoning of a lot of energy and effort. And if we don't focus on it and we do it wrong, it'll be very, very painful. So the amount of time and energy that it takes to do it right and then work through all the challenges when you do it right is something that as an organization we are gearing up for on the last lap, I believe, from now until July 1st. So just wanted the board to know that. I wanted you all to know that I'm aware of that and what's going on. And I appreciate all your hard work and effort.
Thank you.
Back to you, Maria.
It is significant amount of effort on many, many, many employees at every level of the organization. That's all I have today.
I sat next to you. The 110 hires, new hires includes promotions?
That's just new hires.
Just new hires.
I
Okay,
furnished the
thanks.
promotion.
Okay, thank you.
And not temps, so that's regular
Got it.
full-time positions.
Thank you.
Nicole Martinez, Budget and Fiscal Manager. So we continue to monitor the revenues and expenditures that are coming into the county, looking at trends and seeing what's going forward in the economy and any of those impacts to the future revenues or expenditures coming into the county. We are also working on the approval of the First Amendment to 2024 budget. That's scheduled for June 4th at our board meeting. As well, we're preparing for the midterm budget. So as the county manager spoke, kickoff is scheduled for June 27th. So we're gearing up for that. And one of the major things that's on the budget's office plate, as the county manager also spoke to, is implementing the budget system. So our team is heavy into that. We are right now into system integration, and it takes the majority of our day, but that is to settle up and make sure that we're ready to go live July 1st. So So those are the major things.
Questions?
Nicole, if you don't mind me adding, Nicole's also working on the MOU conversations with the auditor, and is making great strides. There's been several meetings, and we look forward to bringing that forward. And then also talking with the sheriff and Robin, and bringing a briefing back to the board about sales tax and the maintenance of effort and the sheriff's budget. But again, I think I'm learning this team is the master of subtlety here. She said the word heavy, I would say heavy, because I just found out that she's spending most of her days, 7 hours of her 8-hour workday in system meetings on the budget module. And understanding that she has 1 hour to work on those other things means that we'll look at how we time those. They're important, we're gonna work on them, but I wanna be sensitive to workloads, and with a team that's very focused on making sure that this system is built right, so that as we do budget, there aren't any major hiccups, and I really appreciate your effort.
Okay, thank you. IT.
Sherry Ilg, IT Director. One of my thunders today has to do with the TC Connect project. We have a go, no-go decision coming up at the end of next week, and that's a very pivotal decision. We're a little bit behind on UAT, more than a little bit behind, and that's a concern. And
What is UAT?
User acceptance testing.
Why is it important?
Because that's where we're finding all the bugs. Not all the bugs. I could never say all the bugs. You don't find all the bugs until after go live.
Just the big ones.
Just the big ones that'll keep you from going live. Yeah, so we're a little bit behind in UAT testing. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I want to encourage people that this is just a short time frame. We have 1.5 weeks left. Let's get it done so we can move forward. And things will not go smoothly in go live. I'm glad you brought that up too. It's gonna be impactful to every employee in the county when that goes live. The time entry is supposed to go live on June 18th, so that people can start entering their time for the first pay period in July, and then the rest of it goes live in July. And it's gonna be big. So prepare for that. There might be some tears.
You might need a ready, set, go plan.
Yes.
We can do that.
And don't call me. PTS, the permit tracking system, is also a little bit behind on UAT, user acceptance testing. Their go live date is being threatened right now, and that is, just like everybody else, a lack of resources to get through that user acceptance testing. They're in user acceptance UAT 2, and all the bugs identified from UAT 1, there were 300 or more, and it's significant. It's had a significant impact on the ability to start UAT 2. That one was supposed to go live on July 12th, but I'm not sure that's really going to happen. So I'm sure they're having lots of conversations about that, but we'd rather get it right than get it fast. And honestly, the further away from the TC Connect it gets, the happier I am, because there's a lot of interfacing between the two. I don't want to delay it, because I know it's important. It's one of our most important implementations, because the old system is one of our oldest, and it needs to go. So there's a lot riding on that.
So hold on, when you say PTS, do you
Permit
mean
tracking
Acela?
Acela.
That's the same thing?
Yeah, sorry.
PTS is pretrial services.
No, I'm sorry. Permit tracking.
You don't get that one.
Acela.
Let's just say Acela.
Acela, the Acela, yes. Yeah, that one's, I mean, all large implementations, I've said it all along, they're gonna experience bumps, and it's not unexpected. We made an offer on our GIS 3 position. You're gonna be so happy. His name is Andrew. He's moving here from Texas with an anticipated start date of July 1st, so. I know, we gotta let him move. Maybe he'll be able to get here sooner, but July 1st is the expected start date. So they gotta find a place to live, they gotta pack, you know. So details. Yes, well, this one has been a very tough one to fill. This was the unicorn, right? So hopefully seems like things are gonna work, so that's great news, and I know that it makes Jennifer very happy too. We are working on our rates as well. It's a lot of work, and I can't wait to find a better way to do them, which I know we've been talking about for years, but until that comes, we have to continue to do it the way we do it now, and it's a lot of work. I was here until 7:30 last night. I probably will be here late every night, but Mary Hall called me. People are like, oh, she's still at work. Anyway, the fiber outage, we have a fiber outage at Public Health. You didn't even notice, did ya?
Not even a little bit.
Nope, that's because we have Lumen as a backup, and most of our buildings now have backups, so when there is a fiber outage, you don't even know it, and that's what we're shooting for.
That is awesome, because
That deserves a
some
round
of
of
us
applause.
were around.
They found a fiber cut in the junction box, but we're probably gonna have to pay a little bit towards fixing that. I was looking for, there was an agreement back in 2007, an interlocal agreement, which I can't seem to find a copy of, that the board approved between the City of Tumwater, Department of Transportation, and Thurston County, as to what portion of the bills for that fiber are going, anyway, I can't seem to find it, but we'll dig into it. We're gonna have to pay a little bit for the fixing of that junction box, but it shouldn't be huge. And then all this disaster recovery talk, we are also working on our disaster recovery plan for how things in the county are prioritized when we're bringing them back up after a disaster. And it's always an enormous amount of work because everything is the most important thing that the county does. So we're working with Microsoft to help us revamp our disaster recovery plan. You'll be hearing from us. We have to get some sort of evaluation about, critical services provided by the county so that we could prioritize what comes up first. Email is always going to be first. Email in our network, but after that, we have to really do some work. So, because we don't have enough to do, we're going to give ourselves some more work. No, that's important. So that's all I have. Any questions?
No.
Wow, easy on me today.
So this is the TC Connect corner apparently, because I will also talk about user acceptance testing between now and in the next few weeks. We're testing all our modules, and we are reaching out directly to the staff that have been involved in design work, asking them to come test now. Come in person, please. We have our implementation partners on site, and we need the testers to be here in the room with them because as they discover things, they can address them and assist. So we really need people to come participate in user acceptance testing. I last night reached out to a few of you asking you to please send people to test the project management module. But you're also, I'm sure, getting requests, your staff are, to participate in other aspects of the system, and soon it will be, Nicole will reach out for participation on acceptance testing of the budget part of the system. So please send your people, because that's the only way we're gonna find out if there are issues in the system that don't work as designed. So that's a huge deal. Yeah, that's the big thing, the biggest thing.
Is there gonna be end user testing for the recruitment module?
Yes, we're working on that. So the internal team has been doing the testing, and soon they will be scheduling and reaching out to the offices and department points of contact that do the majority of.
And we're still looking at holding no recruiting from June 15th to the 30th?
So
Or first to the
we
15th, I
haven't,
can't remember which.
we haven't decided on that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's gonna be some dates of freezing.
But there's
Freezing dates coming up.
There's at least a 2-week period, right? I mean, that's,
Yeah,
something like that?
probably.
I didn't make it up, right? Somebody talked about it, right?
We probably talked about it before
Okay.
the last go
Okay.
live attempt, but, yes, we will have code freeze dates and data freeze dates and, those types of things, but you can continue to recruit in, NeoGov. And then on the cutoff date, then you'll just start all your next recruitments in TC Connect and then close out your old recruitments in NeoGov. So you won't have to like convert all the data over or anything like that. That's the plan. Yeah, we will have some freeze dates coming up and that's gonna be significant too. It's gonna have an impact on everything we do, so.
Yes, let's talk a moment about the freeze dates. There will be we got it down to 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So there will be 2 weeks that, you will not be able to make any changes to personnel. No hires. I don't know what we would do about dismissals, but no pay changes.
A lawless 2 weeks.
Screw up.
Paper.
Nothing.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, and, the request had originally been for 4 weeks, and we've got it down. So, we'll let you know exactly, you and of course everyone else, exactly when that's coming, but it's gonna be a hard pause.
So we're thinking June at this point-ish.
It's probably gonna be close to the end of June. But we've gotta have the data stay stable for conversion.
Jerry,
Oh, sorry.
it just mentioned doing time entering towards the end of June. Will there then be, because now every staff person enters their time, will there be training then?
They've already started training on that, and they've reached out to, we asked you all to identify your connectors, remember your TC connectors? And they sent us quite a few names, and Juan, our new project manager, and our OCM team have been working with them to get them really up to speed. That way you've got people inside your office or department to be able to assist, but we will provide an overview of training on how to enter time as well.
Yeah, it sounds like we might need a session with Sherry and department heads so you can get your operational questions answered, which is timely right now. And we can look at what's our transition time. So you and I can talk about giving you some time on the next department heads meeting when we get together.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It was the same question, the same topic. I mean, so our connectors have been attending the training, but so our initial June 18th, right, everybody here is probably like timesheets, right? So making sure that all the staff have a timesheet. So if those are recorded, train the trainers, videos that we can get and have those in our libraries, because I think we're all building like team libraries and training libraries. We can put that in for onboarding. It's not just current staff as we onboard, and just directing them to the library teams, like this is how you enter your timesheet. So that'd be one less.
The problem, of course, is that we're not done with testing, so it's very difficult to create training materials when the code isn't frozen. So we're doing what we can, understanding that, things may change a little, but the sooner we can get the testing done, the sooner we can work on the rest of it. And it's starting to get a little bit angsty for us about the timeline, so it's really important.
And training was the topic of the entire last meeting of the steering committee, because we know we need to get the training plan set and out there, so people know that they're going to get trained, when they need to be available for training. So the project manager, Juan, is working right now on the training plan, but as Sherry said, we can't design training until we know how the system works.
So we'll work together on what we communicate out as operational workarounds or whatever we have to do. So I hear you, there'll be a countywide concern if employees don't know how to put the timesheets in. So thanks for flagging it for us, Stephen.
Well, I think it's just a key, just keep expectations really low. It's going to be, I mean,
It's
if
gonna
you're
be ugly.
implementing a new system, it's gonna be,
It's gonna be chaos, tissues.
really challenging,
No
having been
kidding.
through it. But we'll get through it,
Yes,
but it's
we
just
will.
gonna be okay.
Scott, anything you want to report?
I think that, yes, you probably received an email from Amy, talking about a save the date for a training that we're looking at on the afternoon of June 20th. And I'm sitting here and listening to the angst and stuff like that. So hoping that folks might be able to carve it out, but I don't know, I might
Reconsider.
reconsider the timing of that. But the point of it really was to have some training that support the county organization and team in terms of communications, both within teams within the organization, up and down. So ideally, whenever it happens, we'd like to be able to have a few layers of your respective departments, because that's where we'll get some of that organizational depth. So more to come.
Manager,
I think I've said a lot.
anything? Board? No?
Keep up the good work.
There's an exciting employment
you.
opportunity in District 3, Commissioner's Office. We have any promising staff that are looking for a new challenge.
None of us do.
Matt?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wanted to remind everyone that the art competition is going on. Submissions happen at the end of the month. There's a whole category just for county employees. We really want to encourage them to get involved. If your employees are stuck in their work position from 9 to 5, and you have a lot of interest or even just one, we can definitely connect and figure out how to get those submissions picked up so that way everyone can participate no matter what their job is.
So, to address something that Patrick
I
mentioned
just-
earlier.
As soon as I said that, I go, oh.
So I have formally announced my retirement. It's not until, I will be here until December, so it's far enough out that it still doesn't feel real. And I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but I am hoping that the county manager will post the job announcement, so yet another upcoming exciting opportunity. And so you'll see that out there, and if you're folks ask about it. We are just hiring in for my position, it's nothing new. So, yeah.
Let's give Robin a round.
All right, any last words about what we call it? Thanks everybody for being here. Great turnout, good updates. We're adjourned.